Check, checkity check, bitch.
Let's see here. Works? To me, it says it works. I'm not hearing anything
I think
on YouTube,
I see
though.
it now. Wait, hold on. It's too loud.
Is it coming?
Oh, yep, there it is. All right, I have green bars.
Well, oh, hold on. All right.
All right, hold on. Don't change anything, though.
It's working! It's
put it
working!
under mics. Yep. Looks like it's working.
It's working.
I think it's working now.
Working.
It should be working. I see the
Oh my
bars,
God,
so can you guys hear us now?
Oh my God, my shirt is so pitty already. I don't like that. All right.
Do you want to skip back to the beginning?
Yeah. All right. Everyone that was here, don't spoil it for everyone that missed it. We'll edit this one in the final thing. Let's all pretend now it's 10 minutes ago, and let's go back to the intro video, and then I'll do the whole thing like this never happened. All right? You promise? Let's do that. Here we go. Welcome officially to Bounty Hunt, a Youtini Network podcast where we hunt down all the extra content in the Star Wars universe. I'm one of your hosts on this glorious Sunday morning / afternoon / evening. I'm Eric Eilerson. Joining me are two great fellas. One who just fixed all of our sound, Dr. Corey Helton. Hey, man.
Hello. Yeah, so I rewired everything, all my whole desktop set up, and I have a pretty sweet setup now, and everything is all nicely organized and everything, but I changed all my wiring underneath my desk, and we knew it. They called it. Charles, I think, was specifically called it yesterday, said everything is going to go to shit. Nothing is going to work. And it was all working right before we went live, and then suddenly it wasn't. So here we are. So let's just pretend like that never happened, all right?
That's right. Now it works. Now it's great. You're here. Also, Wes Jenkins is here with his glorious Astros poster in the back, as always.
Hello, everyone. It covers the drywall scrapes. So as of right now, that's what we got. Soon it'll be changed to something else. But welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening on a Sunday.
Good evening.
Or Monday if you live in Australia, maybe.
I think that sounds right.
Is that how it works?
Before we get into Bounty Hunt, though,
Wes,
we got to give you props. I don't know if y'all saw this on the YouTube channel earlier this week. Wes streamed 4 hours of Battlefront 2 on Friday night. It was
good.
Epic.
It was really good.
Once you found a game, at least.
It was almost like it wasn't 4 hours. I mean, it went by pretty quickly, and I probably could have kept playing because I hadn't played it in about 6 months, and it's still super fun.
I know.
It's like they have, and there's so many different there's so many different game modes you can play. So I just went through the regular game modes like Galactic Assault and then
Starfighter Assault. Right?
No, I did not play Starfighter Assault.
But it's the best game type.
I kind of played Starfighter Assault. So I got into an X-Wing during Supremacy and I immediately crashed.
Oh yeah. So it was a direct replication of what it's like to play Starfighter Assault. Yes.
Yeah.
So you were assaulted, is what you're saying.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
The game is fun. I had you pulled up on my monitor for a little while I was doing my rewiring, and then I started unplugging stuff, and you disappeared. I'm like, where did Wes go? And I'm like, oh.
I unplugged my monitor.
I unplugged literally everything. It's my fault. But I did pull you up on my phone and watched a lot of it there for a little while. And it was fun, man. I mean, I went back and played it like after I finished wiring everything because you got me jacked up to play Battlefront. Holds up good.
Yeah,
it does. Very
and
well.
The campaign's really good. I started the campaign yesterday.
Sweet.
I was like bored I had a bunch of no-shows in a row with my patients, and I was bored and didn't have anything to do. So I pulled up the campaign for Battlefront and played like the first little mission. It's strong stuff, man. The intro is really, really good to that game.
Yeah. So
one thing
all
we need
y'all
to switch back to is the regular Battlefront, the one that came out right before this Battlefront 2. They have a lot of good maps on there too that I haven't played before. I got it on PlayStation, but I never played it. So, but I bought it on I think Galaxy, or I didn't buy it on the other platforms, but I got it on my computer, so I think I'm gonna run those
the
maps.
AT-AT like map type is the only one that's like I ever played because it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Well, keep an eye out, folks. Game night is back with a vengeance. Very excited for more of that. It's going to be on Friday nights. And hey, you know what? Keep your eye out in the Discord. A bunch of us are going to try to get back into playing Battlefront more. We'll be pinging people on various platforms. Very excited. But today, I'm even more excited because we got another episode of The Bad Batch. If this is your first bounty hunt, welcome. You got a longer intro than usual, and I hope you liked it. I hope you like our faces, because we're going to be talking all about the latest episode of The Bad Batch, Season 1, Episode 9, Bounty Lost. This is your overall spoiler warning. We're going to be talking about what happens in the episode. We might talk about things from other animated shows if they factor in. So just proceed at your own risk. But we'll be doing a brief recap, and then we'll be talking about some things we loved, all that good stuff. So, to begin, episode 9. We began the episode with the Bad Batch escaping from Braca with Crosshair all bandaged up, hot on their heels. We then go back to Cad Bane, who has Omega, and he calls his contact Prime Minister Lama Su, who says that Tonwei, we'll meet him. Tonwei's here. We'll meet him on Boravio for a pickup of Omega, the bounty they put out. Lama Su then tells Nala Se, a lot of Kaminoans in this episode, that Omega will in fact be terminated on the pickup. Nala Se does not like that. She feels very close to Omega. But then go back to the Bad Batch, who calls Sid about who Cad Bane is. They want some information. And while Sid knows of his reputation, she cannot find him. But Tech then reveals what we've all been wondering, why Omega is so special. She is the second ever pure genetic clone of Jango Fett. She's got the template just like Boba, so they need her to continue the cloning process for all the clones. Back on Cad Bane's ship, Omega manipulates Toto 360, poor little guy, just wants his leg fixed, to escape her cell once they arrive on Boravio, and then she goes into the abandoned cloning station. Finally, Cad Bane apprehends Omega, but discovers a dead Tonwei, very sad, rip, because she's been taken down by Fennec Shand, which leads to our freaking epic bounty hunter battle between Cad Bane and Fennec Shand, with blasters, with thermal detonators, with hand-to-hand, fa. Freaking awesome. During all of that, Omega hides in the facility and discovers a bunch of clones in vats, look to be left over from old Kaminoan experiments, but she is able to get a weak signal out to the Bad Batch, telling them where to find her. Omega then eventually escapes the station and is rescued by the Batch, who grab her in midair from their ship. It's freaking awesome. And they tell her they will never let her go back to Kamino. They're going to protect her. They know the Kaminoans are after her. There's going to be a ton of bounty hunters. Doesn't matter. Hunter promises she'll be safe. Fennec Shand and Cad Bane both survive their fight. They leave the planet, and Fennec Shand reveals that she was hired by Nala Se to keep Omega safe, confirming that the Kaminoans have their own secret bounty hunter fight in the background. All right, fellas, as we always do, 1 to 10. How do you feel about this one? Corey, I'll start with you.
If anything happens to Omega, I'll kill everyone in this room and then myself. I mean, we're 3 for 3 with phenomenal episodes back to back, man.
Dude, we're in the stretch, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, as soon as we finished it, Caitlin said this was her favorite episode. She absolutely loved this one. This one was so good. We got so much new stuff about Omega this episode. A lot of new bounty hunter stuff, a new planet with creepy cloning stuff that I really thought for a hot second was gonna somehow connect to Rise of Skywalker. It was crazy.
Oh, we'll get there.
Crazy stuff, man. Wes, what about you?
Did you rate it, Corey?
You gotta get your number.
Oh, my number 9.7.
Solid.
Solid. That's super high. That's
yeah,
really
it's amazing. All right, Wes, what do you have? A 6.8 or something?
Yeah.
2.4. Using the new Youtini scale.
Don't you start.
God. All right. So I really enjoyed it. I'm a big Cad Bane fan, so this one kind of ranked up higher for me. I liked the battle overall between Cad Bane and Fennec Shand was amazing.
So
cool. We got it twice. We didn't get just one. We got 2 of them. So I thought it was great. So I give this one a 9.1.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Good. I like that a lot. I'm going to go at 9.5 on this one. I also loved it. I agree with Corey. We are in a stretch of 3 back-to-back-to-back absolute bangers of episodes. And I loved how they incorporated stuff from Clone Wars and Mandalorian, right? With Cad Bane and Fennec, but it's still very clearly the Bad Batch show. I think in previous shows, sometimes the cameos have overwhelmed a little bit, and we've kind of lost the identity of shows when other characters show up. But this is now really feeling like one complete universe. It's really doing a great job integrating all the characters. And like you said, I'm so glad Omega is the star. She is far and away becoming one of the best new characters, I think. Because a lot of times it takes some time to establish the new ones, like an Ezra or someone else. But Omega is just really, really doing a great job in this show. Yeah, absolutely loved it. So let's jump into West, what you were already talking about for our first main thing. That fight between Fennec Shand and Cad Bane. I mean, it was a lot of the episode, and it was like we saw Cad Bane blast Hunter out of nowhere, right? This guy is tough. And Fennec Shand also kind of beat the crap out of him. So what did this kind of say about where these characters are? And just aesthetically, how'd you guys like this compared to other fights we've gotten in the Bad Batch?
I'll start.
Do it.
You could tell like the different fighting styles, right? So Cad Bane had he had his pistols, and he had like that one, I guess the one grenade that he had thrown, but you could see Fennec Shand was using more of her kicks and her jumps and her leaps and stuff, and that was really cool to see. And not only that we saw it in the cartoon or the animation, but we've also seen it in live action too. So we know exactly what her fighting style is. So that's what that took away from that whole fight scene. It was great.
I love that. Yeah, we've seen the 360 no scopes that Fennec Shand does in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, for sure. No, I absolutely loved all that fight. I think one of my favorite lines, I think even in the show so far, is when they first start and they're like standing off each other, and Cad Bane tells Fennec Shand, he said you don't have enough experience to face off against me. Like I was like, oh my god, like he said what we're all thinking, and it was just nice to see that like it wasn't some dumb cheesy line. It was just straight up bounty hunter to bounty hunter. I am way more professional than you, and it was awesome. Yeah. I loved that. That was so good.
Okay.
Pure dig. Pure dig. Yeah, test me. We'll see how it goes.
And I love that. I agree with everything you guys are saying, and I also like the fact that it was a one-on-one fight that sprawled so much. Like they clearly each used all the weapons in their arsenal in a way that I do. Like Cad Bane's like, I have more experience than you, but I still respect you, and I'm not going to underestimate you.
Right.
And I liked how they're like, cool, we're going to do weapons back and forth. Then we'll do hand-to-hand back and forth. And also, where's Omega? And who has to get Omega? And also, like, there's just so many great environments that they used, which leads back to what we've talked about in our first couple episodes, as they're making complete environment planets for every episode, which has to be so freaking expensive.
I know, so much work. I know. The amount of research
I
has to go into that.
And I loved this place because, y'all, I was like, this looks like Camino. And I'm like, oh my God, the Kaminoans just move planet to planet? Like, this is brand new, isn't it? We didn't know about this.
I thought we were on Cloud City for a hot minute.
Me too.
I really
did. Did this planet have like an ocean floor?
Not that I saw.
Not that I saw either. Okay.
No, it seemed like it was just, they appeared to like basically rebuild these like pod places and they just move planet to planet. So maybe this is why we don't hear about Camino, because they just went to the next place that they're like cloners without borders. They're just keep on moving over.
To be clear too, this is a brand new planet. I just pulled this up on Wikipedia. This has never been done before. Cool. Like, so the only the only content on Wikipedia is like from the episode. So
sweet.
We've never seen this before. Like, so there's so much new lore here, right? Like, there's
for real.
Like this tells us so much. Like, but first of all, the Kaminoans are not like exclusively on Camino, I guess. Like that's what you were saying a second ago. Like, I thought they were, aren't they a water species? Like we saw them underwater riding that thing in Attack of the Clones now. So I'm like, I'm like so confused about the Kaminoans now. And like, can we talk about the cloning facility too for a minute?
Yeah,
because
let's go there.
Like when, first of all, when Omega knocked over that vat and it like busted and was like all over her, all of us were like, ugh, gross. And then Fennec Shand was like, ugh, gross. It was fantastic. Yeah, it's fantastic to see that sort of like realism in the show. And like, what was that? Was that a Kaminoan in there?
Okay, can I hot take? My hottest take right now, right out the gate.
Tell me.
That looked a little like Snoke to me, and I think this is the prototype for what Snoke became, and I think it's possible that the Kaminoans' next planet they go to is Exegol. That's my theory.
Holy crap, that is a stretch.
I know.
Eric, God.
But like this really like tall, slimy boy, very like
larger
Snoke
head.
was huge.
Larger
He's
head.
a slimy boy. Slimy boy.
Again, this is a hot take. It is wild, but
that's a great take.
My God.
Yeah.
If they're just going planet to planet, why don't we hear about them? Could it be because Palpatine secretly shipped them all to Exegol?
I don't know. I'm gonna see if I can find a screenshot of the clone vet now, because now I want to know. Now I want to know.
Yeah, Mr. Eric, manage your expectations. Don't theorize. Yeah. And now I'm like, maybe it's all Exegol. Who knows? Like,
but before all this, so So that clone of something had fallen on Phoenix Shand. This place has been abandoned for years, maybe. So there's I don't know.
Prior to Clone War, at least I would assume.
Right. So then, like, the power hasn't been on until Omega had turned something on earlier.
Right.
The smell coming out of that thing.
Oh God! Right.
Atrocious. Just a little bit of throw up from Phoenix Shan would have been great. Just a little.
She literally vomits.
Oh my God.
Then it becomes the Family Guy clip where she vomits, and then Omega vomits, and then Cat Bane runs, in, and then he vomits.
Oh my God, that's
hold
disgusting.
my ears. Hold my ears.
Yeah, that'd be ooh. Carson in the chat puts up a great point. Says, I think at least it's definitely connected the cloning involving Snoke and whatever the plan is for Grogu. Because remember, that guy had the Kaminoan thing on his arm, the doctor that was trying to get Grogu. So, like, we have a lot of stuff involving possibilities of cloning going on right now in Star Wars. Which also, I mean, hey, we're all prequels kids as we grew up, right? I mean, let's go. The prequels were important. The cloning was not just for the Clone Wars. You know, I love how that's being put in because it's such an interesting moral dilemma all the time. Like, the fact that the Kaminoans are arguing back and forth between, like, we need to get her back to be safe. No, we need to get her back because she's a genetic marker. And also, are we going planet to planet and just secretly, illegally cloning throughout the galaxy?
Right.
Like, how deep does this go?
I don't know.
You know?
Man. Yeah,
All right.
like,
I have
this
it
is
pulled
the
up.
biggest rabbit hole we could go through.
Oh, yeah, it's Disney Plus. You can't screen share Disney Plus.
Holy crap. Apparently you cannot screen share Disney Plus. It's black on the screen, but on my screen it's not. Interesting. Well, good to know. Good to know. I guess I'll pull a screenshot from it and we'll look at it.
So it's possible. I mean, again, it might not be. It might not work at all, and it might be just a totally coincidental thing. But regardless if it ties into Rise of Skywalker or not, I really love the idea that the Kaminoans are mobile. And they're not even Kaminoans anymore, I guess, right? Like, what are they named?
I'm pretty sure that, all right, I even try screenshotting like a screen clip. It's all disabled.
Can't do it.
I can't do
it goes
anything.
black.
It's crazy. All right, anyway, it's definitely a Kaminoan. Like the body is definitely a Kaminoan. Yeah.
Wait, guys, are they the Grisk? Is that what it is?
Oh my God. Yeah, I know. It's gross. All right, if you want to look at it, it's at 1643 is the timestamp of the episode where it's like a really good shot of the body and stuff. So interesting. I have definitely shown screenshots of this before on the show, so I don't know why it's suddenly disabled. They must have recently built that
Done something.
functionality, but anyway, Disney. Thanks, guys.
Very long and slender.
All right. So speaking of cloning now, though, let's also talk about the Omega revelation in this. We finally found out she's not Force sensitive. She's not specially mutated. She's actually as least mutated as you can possibly get. She's literally Boba Fett's sister, essentially.
Right.
So how did that hit you guys now, knowing that all the theories about if she's going to be a Jedi or whatever, like, no, she's just a genetic, like, replicant.
Right.
What do you think about that?
Why do they do this? Like, I'm so interested in why this exists in the first place. Like,
well,
you know,
Django's dead, you know?
Well, we have had like a lot of references to like the pure genetic code through like there's like Clone Wars episodes. Remember where the episode where Grievous attacked Kamino? It's like the 99 like arc, right? And they're like trying to get to the central computer because that's where the pure DNA is like stored and stuff. Like, don't they have more pure DNA? Like, why do they have to have Omega in the first place? I don't know. It's very interesting. I don't think we're done with it. I don't think this is just the.
No.
I don't think this is like, all right, that's it. That's why she's important. She's the pure DNA. I don't think it's as simple as that. I think it's got to be more than that.
I mean, I don't know. I think it could go a couple different ways. I think we could get. I like if she's a pure genetic. I like if she's the template because they said that, you know, Boba Fett has disappeared after the Clone Wars. Like, he's gone, so she's the only way the Kaminoans can now get more of Jango Fett's exact genetic code, or like unfiltered, unmutated. And it brings up the idea now that if she does that, whatever happens at the end of the Bad Batch. Does this open up for her to factor into the Book of Boba Fett? Do we get a family reunion if she's aging normally? Like, does she show up other places? I think that their decision to do this has opened up the possibilities of this single character now they age normally.
Yeah.
To be involved in a lot of other things.
There's so many connections. This kind of reminds me of Jurassic Park, right? So it's life will find a way.
Dino DNA.
Then we start with Boba, who is the like direct descendant, if you will, to Jango Fett, and then whatever happens all the way through the line, and then you get another perfect clone species, but it's a female.
Mm-hmm.
It's different.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's such a cool idea, and I love the idea that, you know, I know, like you said, Corey, we might find out more stuff about her, but I'm also glad that they didn't go, well, she's actually force sensitive, because like, who's not?
That would have been. I still
I'm
think
glad.
that would have been kind of dumb. I'm glad they didn't. You know, not everything has to be about the Force in Star Wars, so I appreciate that, like that they've not going that direction. And I still want to know more about what this whole deal is, and you know, to get. Like, okay, you can't be too realistic when we're talking about Star Wars, right? But to get medical about it,
Let's go.
like
Here we go.
the fact that Omega is a female and her genetic code is made her female is medically interesting, because DNA is not like, it's not as simple as flipping one switch and it goes from male to female. There's a lot of changes that happen in DNA for this to happen, right? So she's not really a pure copy of Jango, like. Not really. I mean, she's different. I mean, the fact that she's female at all like makes her hugely interesting. So I don't know what the story is gonna. I think we're not done with it. But the fact that Kaminoan, that one, what's her name? The Kaminoan, it's not Tonwei. What's her name? Nala Se
wants to protect her.
Wants to protect her.
Wants to kill her.
It's so fascinating. Like, why? What the hell is happening here?
Parental.
Like, I don't know. Something interesting is going on, and.
I feel like they're filling in the gaps from the 15 minutes that we got about on Attack of the Clones, because that was brand new to us. Then they drop the what's the guy's names that the Jedi's name that called him in.
Sifo-Dyas.
Sifo-Dyas. We had the Sifo-Dyas drop.
Uh-huh.
And then like it was like, where did this all come from? And then I think that we're getting this is all coming out through the animated show, which is great, because we finally get some answers to something that we've all had questions about.
Right. And and Tonwei being in the show really made the episode for me. Like,
Tonwei's here.
I know,
not anymore.
And I think it was, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the same voice, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but like they must have used either original, they must have used at least original audio, or they had the actors come back in and do it again. But like, it was cool. That's cool. I love getting these throwbacks. Like, it's all connected. It's great.
Yeah, I really loved it. And also, I saw a thing online that I'm not going to go too far deep into, because I feel like I'm not necessarily as qualified to as some other people, but people were bringing up the idea that Omega being a clone of Jango, yet being a female, could also be a possible open up to her being like part of the trans community, depending on like how they want to do that. Like I forget the exacts, and I don't want to like speak out of school as like just a regular cis dude, but I know that some people were like, oh, that's interesting, because it's bringing up the idea of gender and sex, and like I don't know if they're gonna go down that way, but again, if you're in that community and that's how you want to read it, like Mark Hamill said way back when, they're like, if you think Luke is gay, then of course he's gay. It's whatever. Like, it's kind of cool that they're at least opening the idea of that conversation. So
canon and headcanon plays a very interesting role in this. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Now I want to ask you guys, we got Omega back at the end of this episode. So she only spent one episode away from the bash. Did you think it was going to be longer?
I didn't really think so. You know, I really enjoyed how somewhat traumatizing it was. It sounds horrible. I loved how traumatized she was. I know. It was, let me rephrase that. It was very good writing and made for very good storytelling, that they made this experience for her like traumatizing, I think, because like she cried at the end when she was reunited with you know, Bad Batch. And like I feel like in a lot of these shows with child protagonists, they really just totally blow off the fact that they're a child. Like,
they shake it off real fast.
Yeah, they're like, no, it's like, really, I'm fine. It's all good. But like, she was like scared, and they played that up really good. And that was awesome. I think it made it. I was emotional. Like, it made me a little misty eyed. That whole scene when they were reunited and stuff. It was good. It was really good.
They showed, and they also pointed out the fact that she still thought Hunter was dead until she heard from him. Right when she was like,
yeah, she goes,
Hunter. Yeah, and I was like, oh, she still thought that he was dead, and she's like, oh my god, that probably took a huge weight off of her shoulders.
For sure.
Maybe gave her a little boost too, to like do a couple crazy things to get into that escape pod.
Yeah.
Also,
Vehicle.
she
I mean,
was incredibly competent this entire episode.
Yeah, she did a great job.
Yes, the way
I
she
feel like a proud parent watching her. I'm like, yeah, go
I know.
Omega, good job.
Yeah, she activated the computer system. She tipped the VAT over onto Phoenix Shan. She tricked the droid. Like, man, she's like really, really good. I loved that it was very creative. It wasn't simple storytelling. Like, she really had a lot of interesting skills this episode. It was good.
Yeah, because like Cad Bane this is a guy, and I think what they did really nicely here, I'm gonna start that sentence over. A lot of times they can take really established characters and then weaken them to make the new ones look better in some fictions. I like how they did not do that here. Cad Bane was not weak or an idiot in any way during this episode.
Agreed.
Omega was actually just very good, and Cad Bane was trying to catch her while also fighting a bounty hunter by himself, while also doing all these different things. And I really enjoyed how she was able to get away from him. Yet she almost crashed. Like, it didn't go perfectly. You know, the Bad Batch got to swoop in and grab her, which I thought was a great moment. I'm glad Wrecker was the one to get her. Good old Uncle Wrecker. Always love him. But it was just really nicely handled. And I do wonder, Corey, to your point, if we're going to see her either suffer the effects of getting taken over the next few episodes, because like she said, they're never going to stop. People are after me my whole life, and that's never going to stop. That's got to be hard. Or is she going to get a little more jaded to it as time goes on? And I think both would be interesting to look at.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Now, Wes, you brought in a picture in our Slack before we did this episode showing how a certain character on the Bad Batch might resemble another certain character in Star Wars, and I like to throw that up now, if we like, because I think this is interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
What an excellent picture of Dengar, though. Let's just.
It's like the only picture of Dengar.
So Wes, this is your horrible brainchild. Walk us through this.
So, I ran across this on Twitter earlier this morning, and I was like, wait a second. That kind of resembles. They both have the top of the head is bandaged, right?
This is Crosshair and Dengar, by the way, for our audio listeners.
I'm sorry, Crosshair and Dengar. Crosshair's he has the bandage on top of his head and covering his left eye, and then Dengar has a lot of bandage going on top of his head. I don't even know if that's a bandage. Is that a bandage? It could be just like a type of headwear. We don't know.
Sure.
Who's to say?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably the prop they had on set that day. Let's be real. This was the Star Wars in the 70s.
Dengar is actually a professional chef, and that's what hides the mouse that's underneath.
But the two pictures, they closely resemble. So you have the bandaging on Crosshair, and you have the bandaging on Dengar, or the headpiece on Dengar, whatever you want to call it. But it looks similar, and they're both kind of in the bounty hunter family, right?
Yeah, it's plausible.
It's
plausible.
Yeah.
It's a far-fetched, but it's fun to speculate.
That's right.
Yeah, that's exactly the vibe of that. When I first saw that, when Wes sent it, I was like, oh yeah, I could see. Because I've also been seeing whenever you see someone with a giant white bandage, if you've been a classic Bounty Hunters fan, you're gonna think Dengar.
Right.
And you know what? If Crosshair becomes Dengar, fun. If he doesn't, all right, it was Dengar.
Who cares? Yeah,
it's
fine.
But it's a fun visual nod, if nothing else.
It's a long time to have a bandage on, though. Like Dengar, you can take those bandages off anytime you want. You don't just keep adding them. Just keep adding to them. So.
Now, speaking of screenshots too, Wes was also able to pull me the screenshot of
Don't tell anybody.
Oh yeah. I happen to have this screenshot of the.
Dave Filoni mailed it to us.
That's right, he did.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's Snoke to me still.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. It's just
the head's too big for a Kaminoan for me.
I don't know, man.
For sure, it's definitely bigger than a Kaminoan's head, but it's.
Is it?
It's a long, slender body. Oh yeah. But the neck is shorter, so they're cloning. They're doing their cloning process, right? So they could be.
Yeah,
genetically making.
It's disgusting, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's really vile. Let's be clear. This is gross. I don't enjoy it.
Ugh. And so we say Fennec Shand is. Let's say she's 5'6". How tall is this thing?
It's
9
huge.
feet tall.
It's enormous.
Yeah.
I mean, look how big it is. It's got to be huge. I mean, it's like almost double her length.
Yeah, like it's.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see again, and I think that's the fun thing. Harris in the chat. It looks like the aliens from Indiana Jones 4. Yeah.
You're
You
not
know
wrong.
what?
It totally does.
Hey man, E.T. aliens were in Phantom Menace, so who's to say, or Attack of the Clones,
That's
Yeah.
right.
right? Is there
That's
Attack of the Clones in the Senate?
Yeah.
But yeah, loved that. Yeah, and I guess we ended a really cool place in this episode because Cad Bane loses all his money, so he's gonna keep searching for Omega because he wants his credits.
That was the worst part of the episode.
That he lost his money.
He had the money. He had it.
I know.
And then
Yeah.
it just fell. And that's why I asked you in the beginning, is it like a water planet?
What's down
'Cause you
there?
could, I
What's
mean,
down there?
you could take half
Oh,
a
yeah.
day
Listen,
and go down
Maz
there.
It's
Maz
gone.
Kanata has Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, guys. That has never been explained, and that fell to the abyss on Bespin. All right, so his money's
Well,
down there. You just gotta go get it. Just go get it.
Well, Corey, actually, if you read Charles Soule's 2020 Star Wars comic, they're talking about the lightsaber and it goes to a different person. And
That story's being told there somewhere. But to your point,
Simpsons comic book guy.
thank you.
Good.
I think that's interesting, but I like how Cad Bane was like, ugh, God damn it. Like, so he's still looking for her, which is, I think we'll definitely see him again. And I like how Fennec Shand seems to just be on retainer. That's like, hey, just make sure she doesn't go to Kamino again. That's like her only job. She's like, I can find them. And Nalse's like, nah,
Yeah.
safe.
That's a pretty good score. She didn't even have to do the whole job. She's like, yeah, I
Yeah,
got him
one
to-
fight.
Yeah, I took him away from one guy, another guy got him, but I don't
That's
have
right.
her
Yeah.
technically. Like, that's fine. Here's your full pay.
Their
You get that
God.
job.
their ships were really good too. It was about that part of the
Oh,
of the
yeah,
show
talk
where
about
we got to notice that like Cad Bane's got this really crazy tricked out weaponized ship
Yep.
and Fennec Shand's is like sleek and narrow. Like it's cool. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if we've seen these ships before. It's really good.
Make them Legos, you cowards. Give them to us. Which is crazy. So now looking ahead, though, we had the big bounty hunter fight. Omega's back with the batch, and now it seems like we've escaped from Crosshair, we've escaped from the bounty hunters, but we are still on the run pretty decently,
Yeah.
right? And correct me if I'm wrong, they're still in a decent amount of debt to Sid, right?
I guess
Like
so.
we never paid that back.
They didn't
Right.
get any get
Yeah.
any weapons off of that planet.
Yeah, right. It blew it up.
Right.
Right.
And we have, at this point, 7 episodes left. We're 9 in, we got 7 left, and it's Filoni, right? So there'll definitely be at least a 2-part finale.
Mhm.
So going forward, do you think, what do you think is the next move? If you're Hunter, right? You are sitting in the ship that I forget the name of. You got Omega back. What's your next move?
I think this entire experience has been a wake up call for Hunter that they are way too on their own out here by themselves, and they're not capable of protecting Omega. Right? I mean, that was a whole conversation they had at the end of the episode. Is like
Right.
Omega tells Hunter that like you can't fight all of them. Right? Well,
Yeah.
we know somebody that maybe can fight all of them is the army that Rex is somehow connected to now. Right? I think they're gonna hook up with Rex, and I've been saying it this whole time. I think that's the direction the show is gonna go. I think they're gonna get hooked up with Rex and the Rebellion and Bail Organa that Eric is holding up to the camera.
If only we had someone that could rally everyone together.
Oh my god! I love
100%
that. I
agree
love
with
that
Corey.
Eric just has Bail Organa action figures on hand at any
He's on my
given
desk.
moment. Oh man!
Yeah.
And who knows? There may be other people that are alongside them.
It's Sabe. What the?
Shout out to Emma for that Secret Santa gift
Oh,
last
yeah, I was
year.
gonna
That is
say.
always on my desk. But yeah, I think that's a good call, though. I think that
Sure.
I like that idea of the wake up call of realizing that they can't do it on their own. Is also a very hard thing because as the Bad Batch in the Clone Wars, they were the epitome of call us in when you're stuck. We'll do it on our own and leave.
Yeah.
And I think that you're totally right. That just doesn't work now when you don't have military support and someone you care about like Omega is actually continuously being hunted because they don't know that Fennec Shand was just protecting her. As far
Yeah.
as they knew, there were 2 bounty hunters that wanted her dead.
That's right.
Yeah. And the way that they had this show going, they had the beginning, and then they had like the jobs, the jobs for Sid, and then we have Crosshair and like and with the guys from Braca that were chasing after him. It's been a build. They're not
Yeah.
gonna go back to Sid to do a job here and there. It's gonna be
Right.
something
Yeah,
that builds
that
up.
would
And like you
that would
like you
surprise
said,
me.
Corey, yeah, they're probably gonna take half the episode to figure out what they want to do and how to gather themselves, and then event at the end of the episode, they walk over to, or they walk up to Rex and they're like, "Hey Rex, we need help, man."
I'm gonna be surprised if we just go back to Sid and just like we have a filler episode or two of like,
I agree.
Let's doing some more jobs. Let's go rescue a baby Rancor again. Like that's gonna surprise me if that happens. Like,
and then, she pops up at the very last episode. It's like, "Hey, by the way, you owe me $1.5 million credits still." Like,
yeah,
oh, and
no,
season 2.
The search for more money.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I think that's totally right. The momentum is amping up, and I think that's why we've also liked these last 3 episodes so much. That's what we started talking about at the beginning of this episode, is that they've been incrementally increasing the stakes,
Mm-hmm.
and I think, I mean, from here on out, I just think we're at the top of the roller coaster, and we're shooting down. We are gonna fly, and guys, I love this show. I did not think.
So
I thought this was a ridiculous idea.
phenomenal.
I'll be straight up. I thought it like.
I did too. I thought it was like, why? This doesn't need to be. I felt like this announcement, the way I felt like when Solo was announced, it's like, we don't need this. Why are you creating a show? This feels, I hate to say it, my thought was it feels like a money grab. That was a thought that I had. And I was like, everybody loved these characters in. I thought it was a misinterpretation of the love for season 7 of the Clone Wars. That some Disney execs were like, "Oh yeah, the Bad Batch episodes were super successful, and they loved those. They didn't like the Martez sisters, right? So that means that everybody loves the Bad Batch. We better create a whole show out of this." Like that was my gut reaction when the show was first announced. But this has been a phenomenal animated show. Maybe the best so far we've ever had, like of just pure storytelling, starting from nothing and getting something. Like this first season has just been great. I've loved every minute of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's so cool because, like you said, that we had the Bad Batch people and we had Rex as a cameo, but like Clone Wars started out having Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi and like all these established things. This is such a thing that had characters that were kind of still original. And they've just knocked it out of the park. And like you said, it went from being a money grab to who do I give money to get more of this? Where are my Funkos Target?
And like season 1 of Clone Wars was not very good either, remember, right? And season 1 of Rebels was a little hit or miss in places, right? But this show has just started off very strong and adult, and it's really good. I'm very, very pleased with the show.
Yep. I can't wait for Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And Wednesdays, because Loki is phenomenal.
Loki's
also.
so good. Y'all, Loki is so good.
I know. We're going to have to start another Marvel company, too, while we're at it.
Yeah. Although I'll tell you what, we have 7 episodes left of Bad Batch, which is a lot of time. That's like almost 2 months of shows, which is great. But I think that we got to hear about an exact date for Book of Boba, because I think Book of Boba's next.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. So I think we got to start hearing about, or maybe Star Wars Visions is getting like a preview at Anime Con, I think next month or something. I feel like in the next couple weeks we're gonna get a date for the next project, because I don't think they want to go quiet on press between shows.
Yeah, close to the end of the show, we're gonna get something, I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Before we get out of here, though, I want to tell all y'all that are watching. By the way, this chat has been lovely today. We're so glad that y'all spent some of your Sunday with us. We hope you come back tomorrow night for the Living Force, because we are going to be catching you all up on the High Republic. This Tuesday, we have the Rising Storm and Race to Crash Point Tower coming out to start Wave 2. We'll have our reviews going up on the site, videos up on this channel, of course. But tomorrow night, we're going to recap for you, because, come on, you read Light of the Jedi in January. You don't remember it. It's fine. A lot of stuff has happened. But we're going to tell you what happened in all the Wave 1 titles, including the comics, to make sure that you know what's going on. We're going to tell you the key events as someone who has read the books coming out this week, what you need to know. There will be no spoilers for Rising Storm. There will be no spoilers for Race to Crash Point Tower. But we'll just make sure you are ready for those books when they arrive on your doorstep on Tuesday. So that's tomorrow night, Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We will see you there for a nice recap. And of course, we'll see you next weekend for more Bounty Hunt. Because, my friends, that will do it for this week's episode of Bounty Hunt. Keep your eyes out for our next hunt, when we'll be diving into episode 10, double digits of the Bad Batch. A special thank you to Cheryl Bell, Patrick Ortiz, and Carl Sander on our Jedi High Council, and Elizabeth Cloutier, Jason Mitchell, Freddie C., and Sally and Chris Eilerson, whose support make this show possible. Go ahead and tell us all your thoughts about the Bad Batch in our Discord community and that Bad Batch channel. Keep those spoiler tags up. Y'all are doing great. And follow our main show at Living Force Pod on Twitter, and all of us individually for our thoughts on all things Star Wars, at Eric Eilerson, at Doc Star Wars MD, at Boss West. And if he ever decides to show up again, At C Henkel. All right, until next time.
Tick, Ricka, Kid Bin, Fiction. Ah!
Dab.